Ladies and gentlemen, children, boys and girls, it is I, Isabel. And once again, here I am, hiding in this most majestic of locations, ready for the fun that will be... Wait, you're not murdering anything today?
No, we're having a really awesome discussion about the campaign. It's gonna be really awesome.
But, what about murdering all the bitches?
We could do that tomorrow.
But what about today? I want to murder all the bitches today.
Okay, so here, take the switch.
I don't want the switch.
Take the switch and go murder the bitches.
Okay, fine. Can I murder all the bitches on Animal Crossing?
Go ahead. You can murder all the bitches on Animal Crossing if you so choose.
Awesome.
Are you feeling better now?
Hell yeah. You know what that means?
What's that?
Well, on with the show!
Alright, so we're going to start here and do the introductions, and then we're going to go to the other window. The other window. Hopefully everyone's having a good day so far today. It is currently Wednesday. It's 9:35 p.m. and we're live with what has been called now Dragon Talk. It's the first in the series. If you were not here last Wednesday we played the first part of the Dragon campaign that we started playing on stream. That Kelly, the GM, who's a really close and awesome friend of mine, got a bunch of my friends behind my back and created an awesome game for episode 1000, of which we are hoping to be able to continue for you guys as time goes on. So today I figured it'd be really cool to just pull the curtain back and talk about a little bit of the campaign, a little bit about Pathfinder in general, and just anything in general that comes up. It should be interesting and fun. And if it's not, it's my fault. Blame me. Don't blame her. Yeah. Before we get into anything else, let me say thank you to some pretty awesome people. Where is it at? There it is. What do you mean? What do you mean? Is my bot broken? Is my bot broken? My bot is broken, isn't it? Yeah, my bot is broken. Reboot the bot. Reboot the bot. That's how you fix everything, right? Shut it off and turn it back on. But yeah, so if you don't know her name's Kelly. She's a badass. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. She doesn't know what we're going to talk about because it's all going to be a surprise. Because... I don't know. It's just going to be a surprise. Other than that, guys, I'm just trying to fill in for the next... What are we at? We at 34 seconds. In 34 seconds, I can switch over because then the song's over. Or I could just bring her over in this and make her listen to the fine opening music as it goes on. That's how this shit works, right? She muted herself. How dare she mute herself? Because we're about to go live right now. So we're gonna switch over to the Dragon Talk channel. Dragon Talk channel. Look, there she is. She muted herself. How dare she mute herself?
It was because I was listening to your stream, but it was on the other computer.
Oh, so anyone who hasn't met her, the person to my camera left, is Kelly. Kelly is a mod for the channel, longtime friend, getting on to a decade soon.
This is weird because when I look at your stream, it looks like I'm staring right at your face.
Nice. Quali, here, I'll stare at your face too. That'll make this awesome and awkward at the same time. This is where I tell you, just stare at the camera. Or something like that. I'm turning this fan
Yes,
on.
sir, acting teacher, sir.
Yes, sir, acting teacher, sir. So yeah, and anyone who doesn't know, this is Kelly. She's looking for a Coke sponsorship. She will put Coke everywhere and anywhere in the Dragon campaign if Coke sponsors her. And if not, it will turn into a Pepsi Dragon campaign.
Never. They'd have to negatively sponsor me. They'd have to ban me from using it.
You cannot have Coke on stream. How dare you? So let's start with the basics. I don't want... I told you earlier, I don't want spoiler type stuff out there. But why don't we start with the basics of who are you? How long have you played Pathfinder? How'd you get into Pathfinder? Oh yeah, we're asking all the simple questions that I may know, but others might not. And they might want to get to
Totally
know you
simple
eventually.
questions.
Yeah.
So I was a participant in a meager, like, half of a campaign back in, let's see, that would have been in 2007 into 2009, question mark? I got into it because of a now ex-boyfriend, at the time he was definitely not an ex, who played with a group of his friends, and I was nowhere near being a DM at the time. And then as they kind of got tired of their own campaigns and it was not kind of, no one really wanted to do any more of the campaigns, I was like, well, I've only been here for like 3 days, but wouldn't it be cool if we played as dragons? And that spawned the current campaign.
Got it.
Which we did play until I went off to college. I fell behind though because I was trying to manage being in school alongside doing like a little internship over at a, I should say a pre-vet internship, not an actual internship.
Got it.
At the emergency clinic. So, but yeah, that's it. I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. You know, it would have been after all of that. It would have probably been 2012.
Okay, so now
I graduated 2009 from high school, and it was right before the end of undergrad, which would have been 2013, and then med school 2017. So it would have been 2012.
So now the ultra nerd question of, if you had to choose between Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, which would it be and why?
I've never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Any version of it. You've never played any version of Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
Not even 3.5?
I've only played Pathfinder.
Not even 3.5, huh?
No,
Wow.
they only played Pathfinder. That's the only one that I knew.
Well, that's because when you got into playing, that was when 4th was big. And 4th was
so
horrific.
Yeah, so when I started, they had moved to Pathfinder way before that, I think, even at that point. As the 4th edition started to come around. I don't know if they ever played D&D. Now, I do know that some of that group had broken off and done like a Shadowrunning type thing. But as far as me doing any of that stuff, I wasn't in the group at that point.
A Shadowrun?
I think would be a good person to ask.
Did they actually like start playing Shadowrun?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was after an ex-boyfriend. So.
Got it. So what other systems have you played, if any?
None. I've never played a game once.
Well, we're gonna have to change that.
Oh, my favorite.
Yes, new things.
I love learning new rules and then having to forget about them probably.
Wow. Well, unless you actually wind up enjoying the game set, then that's a totally different situation at that point.
Yeah, I hear that.
So why dragons?
Because they're not people. No. So it was spawned as an idea. I don't even remember like what picture I saw, but it was a group of dragons, and they were huddled around and they were playing a tabletop game. And instead of being like Dungeons and Dragons,
If
it was like
I find this picture,
it
this
was like
great.
bankers and boardrooms or something. It wasn't bunkers and badasses, but it was like bankers and boardrooms. And I was like, oh, that's kind of okay. Well, what would happen if? Oh, hello, Sam. What would happen if we played as dragons in the campaign? And I mean, it was the system lends itself to being able to kind of like manipulate a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of straightforward enough to be like, oh well, I think I had just gotten done playing a lycanthrope, but I was allowed to pick the opposite form, so I was like all set with like, oh, this is the real form, this is the hybrid form, and then this is the full animal form.
Got it.
You just kind of like made that into the dragon thing, and then it ended up being pretty straightforward from there.
Got it. Hey, that's a Sam. Sam
is
the unofficial official mascot of the channel. Every time I've ever been able to build a cat in a game, bam, Sam. It's all Sam's fault because Sam's adorable.
Yes. And every good cat is named Sam.
We've learned this in the last stream. Holy cow, that was weird as hell. I'm not gonna lie. That was That was a weird moment when like he picked up and was like, "This is Samuel," and your eyes went.
It's like, yeah, and the fact that he's married to Yvette, I was like, Steven, how could you not tell me about this friend that you have that's married to Yvette and has a cat named Sam? Look at this.
Just never came up. So what, like, what was your initial plans for the campaign? Like, did you want it to like only last for like maybe 4 or 5 sessions? Was this one of those ones that you wanted to hopefully see it like run the entire gamut and like get to godhood where like players start getting to level 20 and you start throwing gods at them? Or
Well, fun story. This campaign, although all the encounters were not planned out to get to an end game, there's an apocalypse in this world. So
oh shit,
it was planned to get to epic dragons.
oh my god.
In fact, I ended up doing a little bit of research on 3-dimensional battles.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
Because, I mean, if we ever get there or not, I suppose, this is kind of like, what'll ever happen type spoiler. The final battle takes place in dragon form, with breath weapons that cone out in 3D.
Oh god.
So,
You know what would be really interesting on that moment is if one of the players, and not that I foresee it happening, if one of the players said no and decided to take it on as immortal.
I mean, they could do that.
I mean, sure, they're technically weakening themselves.
But the thing is, they're not.
Well,
So ultimately, your dragons keep all of the things that you have, with the benefits of if you choose to still use weapons, they scale with you. And if you choose to use spells, they scale with you. So ultimately, all you're taking are some dex penalties to maneuvering during flight.
yeah. Well,
And ultimately, you would have needed the flight, so you can either get up there with a spell or you can get up there as a dragon, so you get...
True. It's just the only...
But that was the end. Like, I planned this world from the end backwards.
Got it.
So
you straight up Kubrick that shit.
I mean, I'm not as good as that, but I tried to be cool about it. And what good is a campaign if you don't end up having, or a campaign as dragons if you don't end up actually having a fight as dragons?
So, in the last adventure, when we had it on last Wednesday, what was one of your favorite moments?
Hang on, I have papers.
You wrote this down?
Yep. My favorite moment was I got sneak in anywhere because I'm fabulous. That was my favorite moment.
Oh god. I could tell you from a player standpoint, my favorite moment was the moment where the wee little doggo dragon is like all bashful and shy and walks up to the warrior dragon and goes, "If we're going into combat, I've never been in combat." I'm like, "All right, boy, we're gonna get your first combat out of your way. Let's play thumb wrestling." And it was just like, it was so off the hip, and it worked out great. But that was one of mine, from being a player in it.
I also like the line of, "I'm not into that." It was everywhere. It's like, you have to dig them out of their homes? This is way too visceral for lunch. I'm not into that.
Yeah, and then
Travis had some good lines.
Yes, he did. Hopefully more people can have as good of or better one-liners when it comes to the next adventure. So, without any spoilers, would you say where we left off in combat is about halfway, a quarter of the way, 2/3 of the way? Like, how far into the dungeon are we?
Do you want room-wise or combat-wise?
Combat-wise. Well, hold on.
Combat-wise?
Wait, if we're talking about rooms, all right. Encounter-wise.
I haven't decided yet on one of the last ones, but there's still 2 more encounters in that dungeon.
2 more.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the ones that are on the rope of whether they are going to get added or not.
No, the third one is the one that's question mark.
Oh. Is that the one where basically a trap just blows up into the poor paladin's face since we don't have a rogue?
Oh, are we including those? There's 5.
Oh, shit. Well, that's technically anytime you come across any kind of battle, because all traps have an encounter, a challenge rating.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that adds to the encounter levels and how many encounters happen in a dungeon.
All right. There's one room where you have to be careful for traps. There's another one where you have to solve something.
It wouldn't be.
And then there's plus or minus a couple of combats.
It wouldn't.
But I promise you, there's no more combats with like 8 little things that you can just swing through and not care about.
Well, it was still annoying. I got hit. I lost.
All right. Well,
I lost 18 hit points. I want to point that out. I lost a quarter. I lost a quarter of my hit points.
Hopefully. Yeah, and you gained it back with like 1 lay on hands. It'd be fine.
Well, that's because I'm a paladin that built myself for that.
Yeah, well, you know what? You don't get to complain about taking a little bit of damage.
Would
you
you
have a million uses of lay on hands?
Would you rather me have built my paladin to be a combat brick, or a massive tank that you can't ever hit ever again?
I mean, you're basically a drain tank, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, that's he's literally Aatrox if you want to think about it. Big 2-handed sword, regens as he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot more nicer and not as evil. So, so you have the end game planned, and you have the basic beginning planned. Is there like a formula straight through? Like, is there grounds for, let's just say the players just say F your storyline and derail the entire thing? Like, let's say if the players decide, like, we don't like Isaac, and they shiv Isaac in the back, do you have, like...
They won't have to.
What's up? What?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
But
You can rewind it if you want.
Nope. I'm playing dumb.
Okay.
But no, so
Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is I'm using that as an example, but like, let's just say any major NPC, like let's say if one of the players is just like, yep, this one I'm just gonna, like, do you have contingencies built around players losing their mind?
So as far as the NPCs that you've met so far, really the only important ones are of the council, and I suppose if you decided to really try and roll against some of the ones on the council, I would probably just DM Destroy You, just because they're actual dragons and you're not yet.
We're just became adult dragons.
Say you guys are essentially with the stats of wormlings, and Arborn Fury, if he really wanted to, could literally snap his little summoner fingers and drag you all to the depths of hell with some fire things. But
wow,
would he do that? No.
He might to teach a lesson.
I suppose.
He might to teach a lesson.
Oh hell no! He'd torture your asses way before he did that. You get to play out the rest of your character in a dungeon cell screaming from torture, but that's okay. That's how he rolls. Liliana's a little bit nicer, but not quite.
Episode 1010. Ah! Episode 1017. Ah! It's just like...
Yeah, basically.
This is your life now.
He's known as being pretty ruthless. He's mellowed out a little bit as the conflict has been kind of so far away.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the thought around his character is that he, like, if you're gonna get in between him and a victory, you're gonna get toasted.
Got it.
So, Liliana's a little bit more like play chess to get you out of the way.
Got it.
But Sam, can I help you?
Yes, he wants to be pet and picked up and loved.
He's like doing zoomies up and down off the bed.
So
if you hear a bunch of papers rustle, it's fine. Have them backed up.
Nice.
But we'll
So
see.
so
Oh, you said contingency plans.
yeah.
So there's not really a whole lot of contingency plans for you guys to take on some of the higher level NPCs. Now, if you guys wanted to try and fight Isaac, I have his paper. You can.
No. It's more of a like. For my years of being a GM, I found that you could throw the most obvious hook out.
What are you doing?
Like I could throw a hook out of, like I describe people in a bar, and literally you could like throw in the obvious man in the corner, cloaked in shadow. It's just like he's the obvious guy you should talk to, and then for some reason you like describe.
And then I hear Travis / Crystal being like, I feel like Destiny's pointing us to that one, so let's go to this one.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, but then what winds up happening is like, how like you describe certain other characters so you could just fill out the environment, but like you just say something like the barmaid is wearing a green apron, or like she's wearing a green apron. Oh, we gotta talk to the barmaid. It's just like, no, not the barmaid. Please don't go talk to barmaid. It's just like, no, the shadowy guy in the corner. That's who you're supposed to talk to. It's just,
So as far as being able to have like a distinct style of things, so far what I was able to DM of the Dragon campaign, everything was quite linear before.
Okay.
I feel like you guys do not play that way.
No.
So although there are going to be like a series of linear hooks, ultimately what I feel like is going to end up happening is more so like an area based. So like you start in one area and you guys get to pick.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like, it opens up the continent for this kind of exploration.
Correct.
And based on where you guys start, the explorations change, right? So the
Correct.
thought is that as you kind of progress southward from the Northern Keep, it ends up being like higher and higher challenge ratings. It ends up being a little bit different, a little bit more populated. Because you're going to probably notice in the first town that you get to outside of the Northern Keep, it's very not populated. But ultimately the thought is that where you go from there is up to you.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to get to that first town and you're going to meet someone and they say, oh, you need to go here.
Yeah.
Or, oh, you need to go here. It ends up, you talk to them and they say, oh, well, there's a pretty nasty mountain range to the east, and then down south it's a little bit nicer. That's where the trade routes go.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the west you have just like a raging ocean. Like you can essentially take that information and do with it as you will. Yeah. You guys can go and get lost in the mountains for all I care if you guys really want to.
Oh God.
Roll for survival, see if you find the mountain goat. But it's like,
I'm
it's
sure
not
we have
constructed in a way that has to be linear.
I feel like we have a summoner who can bring forth a mountain goat if we need him to.
I feel like that would be like it would just deconstruct in your stomach and be really sad about it.
See, anytime I built a story, like I was one of those people that like I've only had like 4 or 5 long-term campaigns like survive, and what I always did was I was one of those people that like choice has action, choice has consequence. So basically like what I would do is like whenever you'd enter the new town, like as they were going through the town and exploring, I would throw like little hooks. And nothing big, but like if they chose to take the hook or chose not to take the hook, that would be a pro con. Maybe if you took the first hook you saw, you missed the bigger hooks beyond that you could have needed. Or maybe you ignore that first hook and then all of a sudden this person gets robbed, which then causes this chain of events, So like all of a sudden the store that was going to be in that town for you, well, the store is closed, like because you didn't stop the dude from getting robbed. Like that was how I've always done it, was like there was always this like give and take. So that way,
I think we're going to see kind of that style evolve, if it will, depending on how you guys kind of play. But I almost think that it's going to be a little bit too spontaneous. Like I almost want to plan everything out, but I feel like if I went through and planned everything out, then for the most part I would just be like, you guys would make that one little left turn that I didn't calculate, miss all of my right turns.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I'm just like, well, I don't know. So I think what I'm probably gonna do is just like pre-make a bunch of different like situational encounters.
Gotcha.
So say you guys decide that you want to go to the mountains, you get lost in the mountains. Oh, hey, look, you find the dire wolves again. Perfect. You see the wolves
poor
that they
dire
used
wolves.
to borrow to the dire wolves. But it's or if you're in a town, then I can have like pre-made human guards, like whatever, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But as far as being able to like, I direct you towards this one person, and his name is Sir Lancelot, and he's gonna do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
That'll happen as it needs. I read an interesting thing in the little GM handbook where it's essentially just like write down 10 names of male and female or androgynous archetypes for the next 3 cities that you want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, if people are like, oh, I want to go hit on the barmaid with the green dress, and you're like, fuck, what did I try to name her? You can just pull from that list and be like, oh, her name's Anya. All right.
Oh yeah,
perfect, Anya.
Like the biggest thing is definitely notes. Like I found when GMing, the more notes I had, the better. Because I would love to do recalling type of stuff. So like people return back to the town. The best example I can give is what Matthew Mercer did with Critical Role, where there was only one black powder merchant in this one town, and his name was Victor. And Victor, the black powder merchant, was an amazing character because he evolved. Literally, every time you went to visit him, some other crazy shit happened to Victor. Between losing fingers, a whole hand, it was crazy.
All right.
If you ever get a chance, look up Victor the Black Powder Merchant. There was 3 times they met him. And so, like, the whole thing is, like, what started as a throwaway character for Matt wound up becoming a character that they visited 3, 4, 5, 6 times and evolved into an actual character. So, like, the Green Apron Bar Maiden could easily become an important character in the story arc. If, like, and that's one of the things that I wish I was better at, was having players, if you want to go for the Green Barn Maiden, have at thee. And then if, like, when you come back to the town, you're like, I want to see how the Green Bar Maiden is. My problem would go, who? Like, and like, it's all of a sudden a completely different character. It's just like, because I forgot what we did.
Yeah.
And so that's why in the first like 2 or 3 ones I did, I needed notes. I started taking massive amounts of notes, which it looks like you, Miss, I have a notebook full of lines and stuff, is already doing that.
Yeah, and pulled up on my second screen is the session summary from the last time too. So.
Oh, you mean with a certain Travis character stealing cheese puffs or whatever it was from Isaac's table?
I didn't quite get into that detail. The detail on that one is Quetzal met Auburn Fury's son Isaac, who was perhaps not as pleasant as desired. Just a quick little one line.
Oh, poor Isaac. Well, we'll have to.
And then it also says Quetzal met another character, Maya, who is with Auburn Fury's group. She seems a bit more open to talk, and she divulges that the trial is being performed as human beings.
Got it.
So.
It's all her fault. We knew ahead of time. How dare she?
Totally.
So, what is, like, I understand the mission is to infiltrate as humans to find out why they're expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have, like, what if, like, let's say Ian's character just says, screw it, I'm tired of being a human, or whatever he is, and just rips the amulet off and goes, I'm just going to go the rest of this campaign as a dragon. I've decided that I'm going to go...
Who is this?
Ian's character. Ian's character just decides, I'm going to be a dragon from now on. I've ripped the amulet off, and I'm going to go from town to town as a dragon because I want to reforge humanity and dragons by showing them that not all dragons are a-holes.
That's a great question. Ultimately, it would probably be met with, in the current climate, an extreme amount of distrust, despite whatever he says.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be most likely met with violence.
Poor Ian.
And although some of the northern towns would probably be to the point where, like, if they acted in violence first and he decided to fight back and you guys joined him, you guys would probably annihilate the first couple of towns. But it would...
Word would spread very quickly, I have a feeling.
Correct, yes. There is a couple of different capital cities that you would find that would be able to dispatch quite large armies to you.
Oh, boy.
One of them would be a paladin that you might recognize.
I could just picture Autumn Fury being like, "What have you done, you idiots?"
Yeah. Alternatively, there was always a Nox backup plan, where she would essentially, like, pull you guys out and bring you back to the Northern Keep.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be like, you have to go home now. Bye bye.
You have failed your mission. Go home.
Dishonorably discharged.
Oh God. I hope we don't ever have that happen. I don't foresee that happening with this group, but I also know that behind the scenes, at least 4 of the characters are hell-bent on trying to figure out a way of reforging the ties between humans and dragons. Or humanoids and dragons. I should say humanoids, because it's all non-dragons for the most part. Like, are kobolds on board with that? Like, where do kobolds sit in your world?
You know, that's a great question, because I really didn't plan on having them much as a race that's been present.
Because they're dragon kind, so I'm assuming...
Kind of. So, like, the way that it kind of would have separated would be kind of like the difference between, like, goblins and orcs, where it's like there's one that's kind of like they're the same but they're different. Ultimately, kobolds, at least the way that I was introduced to them, which I guess would be like a really shitty way to say that I've been introduced to them, it really hasn't been much, would be to say that they just weren't capable of the same intelligence dragons were, and then they split based on that.
Okay.
So dragons were able to kind of like develop some of these bonds, be a little bit more tactical, where kobolds were kind of like the rock smashers in the sense that, yeah, they existed and they looked dragonoid, but they're more so regarded as like lizardy hybrids rather than being like of true dragon.
Okay, so they're not. So in your campaign, the kobold is more of a different thing than just a true dragon, like they usually, like Pathfinder usually views them. Okay, poor kobolds. It's so little going for them already, and you ripped the poor dragons away from them. It's okay. I think they'll get over it.
But ultimately, the war was between the big flyy dragons,
okay.
The ones that breathe a lot of fire.
Yeah, I don't know of many kobolds that get breath weapons.
No.
So now that we've covered kobolds, the poor kobolds. Poor kobolds. Like, is there a reset point? So, like, for instance, like, let's say there's a point where it's just like, all right, the campaign goes for X, and then there has to be a break to reset. Or is it just, is your story arc... Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just... allergy eyes.
Oh, I feel you on that. Well, I don't have allergy eyes, but I know plenty of people who do, so I apologize. So, like, it's like, is there, like, a reset in the middle? So, like, the world grows, things between humanoids and dragons change, either positive or negative, or nothing. And is there a point where it's like, okay, your current characters have to retire, and now you create a new group because Autumn Fury decides that, like, all right, you guys did a good job, go retire, now a new group takes over? Or are you planning for the same group, assuming no one dies?
There is no current plans to have to switch groups. However, there are inbuilt patches that I can, like, if you don't want to play the character anymore, or if you want to switch out your character, or
Character dies.
if you die, the fact that there's multiple groups kind of competing in this challenge allows us to pull in from one of those other groups.
Got it. So that's actually kind of smart that you did it that way. That because it always allows for the option of, all right, so the following groups pass the test, and your new character X happen to be in this group, and so they're joining you.
Yeah, and essentially what it could be is as simple as, they had originally joined this other group, but because there was like maybe a large portion of a different group had passed away or died in some sort of combat or altercation or was not heard from, they can split the groups. So essentially, like, if you've got 5, 5, and 5, and you end up with 5, 2 and 3, you can send like the 2 and the 3 apart.
Got it.
And divide them up. It was also how I was going to bring in, like, say if Danny ever wanted to join, I can bring in Danny, saying that she was part of a different group during the trials.
I asked about kobolds because I thought it would be funny to see Danny, because Danny is we also. She's the tiny. Make her a kobold.
You're funny.
I try sometimes. Funny haha, not funny ho.
She would be a real dragon, okay? I'm gonna link her this.
She could be whatever she wants to be. She wants to be a butterfly dragon. She could be a butterfly dragon. That actually exists.
I know.
Butterfly.
I've seen the pictures.
Now, is there any specific dragons that do not exist in your world at all? I'm not talking about like they went to the outer realms.
Do not currently exist or don't exist?
Don't exist, period.
That's probably a great question because I probably am not familiar with all different types of dragon. Ultimately, the thought is that during the extinction, a lot of the smaller like breeds would have just kind of gone away. So I think there's like a dragon, like a fairy dragon and stuff. Those are all gonna be gone.
Okay. So like the fey dragons are.
Yeah.
Poor fey dragons.
As far as some of the other ones, things like, I guess there's crystal dragons and things like that. Those all basically exist. The dragons that have kind of like the temporal powers, like the void, and I forget some of the other names of it.
All the time
those
stuff.
Those ones, yeah, they exist, but they're not there.
I remember when I remember when you're opening, you said that they all bounce except for Nox.
Nox.
Is it Lox or Nox?
Nox.
N is in November. Oh, X. So like poison? Because isn't that what Nox is poison?
I do believe Nox is for time.
Hold on. Oxides of nitrogen, especially atmospheric pollutants. It might be time, also.
If it's not, it's from a show.
Yeah, because I'm like, the only reason why I asked is I remember there was a game I played, show my age again, called Nox, and it was literally all about this human going out to fight the world of poison that was like trying to take over. It was a really old game, really old wizard game. It was awful. I hated it. Was not a fan.
Roman goddess of night.
There we go. We'll go with that. Now.
Oh yes, that. Sorry, yes, it's. Yeah.
What?
Like nocturnal.
Got it. Now it makes sense.
I remember I looked it up back in the day.
Now, like, I know this is the second time you're starting to play through this campaign. Is there anything in this opening so far that you have changed from the original? Or is it still basically the same?
Yeah. The dungeons is similar, but the encounters are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
The final encounter is definitely very different.
Was that because of our party build, or?
No. It was, it's because I know the rules a little bit better now than I did.
Okay.
The final encounter for the other ones was not, there was no combat. It was a golem / elementally thing.
Okay.
That essentially what they had to do is solve like 3 different little puzzles that were in the room and cut off the supply of air, water, and earth.
Okay.
And then when they cut off the supplies of those things, it crumbled. They could do damage and it was dead.
Oh. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, except for the fact that it was really lame, and I had people that really wanted to be like, I slash it, I crit it because I'm a crit magus.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing this group, like you, because you told me about that previous group. I think this group, compared to that group, the previous group you dealt with was definitely a min-max group. Like, it was min-max to the tilt.
I mean, ultimately, though, I'm having a harder time with your group, though.
Why is that?
Because everyone else's was like, oh, I want to build a rogue, or I want to build paladin. And it was min-maxed within those things, but they were all very basic classes. Like, I didn't have to worry about, like, oh, what's this spell I don't know?
Oh, you're talking about our psychic and summoner friends and our weird-ass wizard?
Well, the summoner has had time to look up exactly kind of what his class can do now.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that. We realized that the next day. I was just like, wait, what?
No, I mean, like, in the sense that I didn't have to deal with Eidolon or Eidolon before.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it ends up being this thing where I'm like, oh, I have to pay attention to that thing's AC. Before, there really wasn't a whole lot of combat that we effed around with that thing's AC, and now I'm done in a bad place.
Yeah.
But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Why? Because the next room was always planned to be the way it was, even though you're going to think that I was doing it on purpose.
Uh-huh. Sure.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll be fine.
So how do you, as a GM, plan to deal with player death?
It kind of depends. I'm kind of the interventive one. I don't really want to do anything like that. In which case I would probably pull a punch.
Okay. So you wouldn't willingly kill the character. But what if, let's say Sig does the whole bad guy's coming down the hallway, pulls out the greatsword, looks at his friends and goes, run, and decides to, like, hold the line. Like, is that something you would still pull the punch on, or would you allow Sig to fight it at that point? What I'd have to do is I'd probably
have to split the session.
Okay.
So I'd make you fight it. I wouldn't make you be just like, oh, I give up. Be like, you're gonna fight it.
Oh, just in case the dice work in your favor?
Fuck yeah! I have bad dice, you saw that. So.
And I have stupid, crazy dice.
Yeah, exactly. So, may as well roll it.
Yeah.
Roll it. So.
And I could say
I'd probably make you do that. The other thing is, you always have to remember that when you get low, you're going to take it into dragon form, which means that you're going to access the different spells, abilities, etc. And I'm going to revert back to that part with Nox, where she can just, like, yeah. Oh, you're dying? No, you're not. What is it? What's the thing? Deus Ex Machina?
Oh, God.
Intervention from God.
God just comes in and just says no. Listen, my character
She's very
has
close
his own
to being
God.
God. She's very close. She's not quite, but she's very close.
Oh, all she needs is 10 followers, and she gets deity level 0. Dead serious. That's how it works. It's 10 followers. 10 people to believe she is divine, and she gets deity level 0.
Yeah, well, she's definitely bigger than that.
Did I ever tell you about the one character that me and Tom came up with? His most ridiculous character. He was playing a rogue. A charlatan rogue. Who was going around preaching the word of Bob. The great deity Bob. And like would literally go throughout the towns and talk about how Bob is amazing and this and that and heal people and stuff like that, but he was doing it through like use magic device and stuff like that and sleight of hand to make people think it was real. And my character was a paladin of Bob because he's gone through so many towns and so many places that he's gotten this guy. He was in a bar named Bob, has a deity level because Tom has been preaching about the word of Bob and how Bob helps all. And so my character, who's a paladin, starts to believe in Bob. And because Bob has deity levels, can grant powers to the paladin, which just reinforces that Bob is real. Because, like, here's this cleric of Bob and an actual paladin of Bob going about. And it was the craziest, stupidest thing ever. And then eventually, the GM we were playing with put this, like, crisis of faith moment on Sig. Where basically, he made us walk into the town and I met Bob in the bar. And he wanted to see how I would react. Oh, hey, Sam!
Oh, did you see me looking at him? I was like, you come up here?
And it was like this crisis of faith moment for a paladin of Bob. You know, like, have to decide, like, what are you going to do now that you know that your god is a drunkard in a bar? Like, what do you do? You know, don't get me wrong, he's a drunkard in a bar, and he's neutral good, so you could technically worship him as a paladin. That's a long kitty.
Isn't he?
The big long kitty. Kitty goes meow meow. That's how you know shit's real right there.
He's a real kitty?
So, but that was one of the crazier things that we've come up with, because like again, it's once you have 10 people believing in you being a god, you get a deity level. I mean, it doesn't do anything for you. There are plenty of people out there with deity level 0. It's getting that first deity level that's the pain in the ass.
All right. Any other questions?
Hello, Sam. So, tell me about Sam, since Sam is on your lap.
Oh, I'm just fostering him. Just kidding. The foster that never left. We call them foster failures.
Foster failures?
That's all he needs.
The temporary cat that just never went
And he's very stretchy.
I always forget that about Sam, about him being stretchy.
And he's so stretchy. He's so stretchy.
Don't overfeed Sam. Sam would become a fat, plump cat way too quickly.
I was gonna say he's already kind of a big girl.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like.
How can I do this? Oh yes.
Sam is such a chill cat. Can't go wrong. Like, there's not many cats out there that you could flip and roll like that and would just be like, yes, more. Give me more pets. So I guess my next question would be of
Little big, he's a big cat.
Is there anything in that first session that you could change, would you? And what would it be?
There's nothing yet. Other than I wish that I would have realized that hitting the ACs was as difficult as it was, but I kind of knew it would be hard because they were such a low CR anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you now also know about the magic trick of wolves teaming up to aid each other. But that's one of
They
those.
really didn't last long enough to do that, though. So.
I don't know.
But that's okay.
They were hitting
That's
me.
okay. At that point, it's a feel-good room, and that's okay too.
I don't know. They hit me pretty good.
It's not my job to win. It's just my job to give you a wolf to try and feed biscuits to.
That was the part. Was like, the only thing like I questioned was like what were we missing to get that clue earlier on? Because I feel like there was something we missed out on.
No, it's just the fact that I didn't think of it earlier.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. We got to the last one, and I was like, wow, this is a really boring fight. Like, how can I make this worthwhile? And I was like, well, you know what? Fine. And he, like, he wanted to try and get out of the way without. He's like, shit, I have to take the attacks of opportunity. And I was like, the wolf ignores it, and you see that he ignores it. That's all.
I will say there was that part of me that when all that went down, I 100% like if I wasn't playing a paladin, I would have so struck the wolf anyway. The only reason why I didn't was because I was playing a paladin who recognized like maybe there's a chance here.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, there would probably have been minimal consequences for not. But no big deal.
Just minimum.
I mean, I guess I could have spawned more in the next room. I wasn't supposed to have any.
Well, we technically already have one more in the next room.
That's what you think.
What's up?
That's what you think.
Well, the one ran away.
Yeah, but there's summoned creatures.
I guess that's true. You could easily just have something else in there.
What on earth could be there? What on earth could be there?
Murder and death and mayhem. I'm So, my next question I have, other than are you adorable, if you could, would you rather your groups to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 3? How many players? What's your magic number?
I was prepared to do this with 3. So the fact that we have 4?
5. We have 5.
5? Oh, because it's the 4 plus you.
Yes.
Yeah, but I was prepared to do it with just the 4.
Mm-hmm.
But then I talked to think about it. I was like, did you want to potentially just retry it? He's like, no, man. He actually asked me the other day, like before all of this happened. He's like, hey, do you happen to have like that stuff still? And I'm like, give me 1 second. I know exactly where it is because he wanted to find his character name. Give me a second. I'll go find it.
Oh God.
Nope. It took me less time to find that than it took me to find my hairbrush the other morning. I was like, I know exactly where this is. So.
There you go. That's the part that matters right there.
I'm just surprised that I still had it, to be honest.
I have character sheets from original D&D 1 and 2. So it happens. I have my original Siegfried sheet.
But would you be able to find it in less than 15 seconds?
Yes, it's right there in that red binder.
You're like, boom.
I'm not even joking. Hold on.
Okay, well let me put it to you this way. How many times have you moved since you had that?
4.
Really? Your mom has moved 4 times?
No, I have. And then, much like most of us millennials, I fell back home and then would leave again and then fall back home because life happens. Yep, there it is. Still in its little binder.
Show the camera.
What's up?
So you're gonna show the camera?
Yeah, I'm going to. There it is. The old character sheet. And I even have it in the protective cover so I can make sure it stays around forever. So that way, one day, when I pass on from this world, me and Siegfried can be buried together. How weird is that shit?
I mean, there are weirder things, right?
Sure, I guess. I want to be buried with my character sheet. Oh my god, that would be
Well,
like...
some people want to have their pets in their casket.
Well, I guess that's true. There are people that are like, bury me with my car. Has anyone ever actually gone through with that? I know people have said
Bury
it.
me with all of my gold in
Bury?
a giant pyramidal shape.
Let's see here. Yeah. There are people that have been buried with their car. The most recent one was a wealthy man from Kenya.
I mean, I'm surprised.
I couldn't imagine that. Wait, hold on. I want to see if I can see what kind of car it was. This is important information. Oh. Interesting. It is... Like, I can see it. I know it's an older car. And I'm sure if I was a car guy, I'd be able to go, oh, that's a ...
Yeah.
But I am not a car guy. It's, here it is. 1973 Pontiac. Catalaniana. I don't know what that hill is, but there you go. We've answered the question. So that's the last person who got buried with their car. Someone got buried with their motorcycle. And that was it so far. I feel like getting buried with your motorcycle a lot easier than buried with your car. Let's close that. Don't need that anymore. So, all right. Now let's go for the juicy gossip. Here we go. Of the 5 players, which character do you think is the worst?
In what sense?
Like you just like, oh god, not that character. More play style than characters. Like, not the player, but the character, like the class.
I don't know. You only had one combat. And I feel like people threw a bunch of spears, and that was it.
Yeah,
So,
well, people threw spears, and I swung a sword.
people threw spears, and then I got freaked out because Travis was like, "Oh, I want to possess these things." I'm like, "What the? What do you mean you get to possess these things? Get out of here!"
Yeah, he gets the animal control as his cleric type.
Yep.
He basically gets that druid animal control, but as a cleric. Again, most normal character ever. Right here. This guy.
I hear you.
In comparison to everyone else, I have the most straightforward character. And usually most people complain about paladins being the most complicated character because of auras and this and that and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, how am I the most, like, straightforward character out of all of us? I blame Ian. I was hoping Ian was just gonna be a blaster wizard and would accept his role as most plain character in the game. Instead, he decided to go wood specialties so he can throw spears and all this other shit.
Well, we'll see.
I hope so. Okay. I already know what the answer is going to be. This. So MVP for last session. Who is it?
For which purpose?
We'll go with combat, and then we'll go with role playing.
Your combat. Travis is role playing.
Okay. That's. I honestly didn't think I was going to get combat.
You were in the thick of it.
Yeah, I was.
It's not your fault all your kills got stolen.
I like how I eventually just succumbed to him. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna strike this one because it's already almost dead. Let me go strike this one instead, and then wound up killing that one. Bastards. So, at the end of the day, on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being 0 fun whatsoever, and 10 is the best fun you ever had. What would you rate that GMing for you?
How about I refuse to answer that until you flip the question on yourself.
Hold on, 0 to 10. 0 being no fun. 10 being the most fun I've ever had. Are in role-playing games or in life?
Well, however you'd want me to answer.
Well, you tell me. You asked the question.
Actually, you asked the question, and I just flipped the question.
Yeah, so now I'm asking you to refine the question with a question. No. We'll go with role-playing.
How do you guys say... Is this the part where we're going to just, both say it at the same time, and then that way neither of us has to feel embarrassed about not giving a perfect score?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, perfect. I was going to give it a 7.5 to an 8.
I was going to give it an 8. The only reason why is I do have those nostalgia ones from, my being a kid when I was, 10, 11 years old.
You don't have to try and explain it.
No, I'm just saying, the nostalgia ones, automatically are the 10s. Because, even though they were probably awful, for instance, one day wishing that my brother would piss on an electric wire and die. What? We were playing Star Wars, and my brother was being an idiot, and he decided that his character he was playing a Wookiee, and he decided he was going to mark all of his territory by peeing on it. And so eventually he was just peeing on wires, and the group in one unison chanted live wire, live wire, live wire, to which the GM laughed, picked up the dice, rolled, and electrocuted his ass. We now know because of Mythbusters that would not have happened. But at the time, it was funny as hell.
It was pretty fun.
It's stuff like that. I remember nostalgia moments like that. And that's what keeps me going in Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and Shadowrun is always trying to have that moment again. And that's why I said is this ranks really high because I had a couple of those moments with the thumb wrestling and watching Travis steal cream puffs from the poor table. Those are good. Can I have some?
This is way too visceral for lunch.
Yeah, that was the worst. I just remember trying to explain to him.
What was the last one? It was, I disbelieve the dead body.
Yes. I rolled to disbelieve the dead body. And that's what I said is I think we definitely as a group have room to improve. 100%. We have to gel more as a group. But I think that's one of the cool things is because we're a new group together that we get to role play being a new group together. We don't have this auto thing going on. For the first time ever, I'm playing a campaign with Tom without our characters knowing each other.
What happens when you find out about the campaign 3 days before it happens?
Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that funny? and then wind up picking a character and building a character that basically is attached to Travis's character. Oh God, this shall be interesting. So is there any last thoughts you want to throw in? Any questions you have for me?
You did a good job at avoiding spoilers.
Damn right. I have a list of notes over here of questions to try and remain away from spoilers. Like things that are
Really?
right on the edge. You know, they give like little inklings. But not anything that will destroy everything, you know, because that's not my life. I don't play that game. Do you think we, based off of just what you're seeing from group 1 or day 1, do you foresee this group succeeding in your overall story? No.
I don't know. I think Sig is going to be pretty close to being like the El Primo. I don't know how far other people will be like, oh yeah, this is fine. But I guess we'll find out.
Oh, as the storyline progresses?
Mm-hmm. Whether or not the motivation matches what you guys want.
It'll be interesting. I think that's where character growth and all that starts coming in. And I think that's what, as much as I love Pathfinder Society doesn't allow you to have growth as a character. Because like everything is printed out, like everything is in like this easy to like, oh, it's pre-done and you just read it from page to page to page to page, and like there's not much like character development, so to speak, you know? I mean, unless you yourself create it, you know? And I think that's one of the things that Pathfinder Society needs to build in somehow. Is I wish they would remove one encounter. Because most of their adventure modules that take like 4 to 5 hours have 3 to 5 combats. I would love to see them remove 1 or 2 of them. Like if it's 3, remove 1. If it's 5, remove 2. Just so you can throw in more role playing, so your character can grow, you know, so it can be more than just a sheet of paper. Is what I wish. I really do. Within reason, of course.
As always.
Yeah. And I think that's why, like, homebrew campaigns like what you built allows growth, you know? And I think that's cool. I really do. Now it's just up to you to not kill us.
We'll see.
Hey, we just have to make it to level 7, and then the only person who needs not to die is my character. Just saying. I should have put my volume up so you could have heard it.
Decide.
But you look like it is about time to let you go to bed. You have an early morning, I think.
Yeah, I do have to go to work. Sometimes.
Work is overrated.
Yeah, what's that like?
Yeah, you know, I love work. I love being in 60 extra pounds of equipment. Yeah, I will say though, cardio wise, man, I don't need a gym right now. I put on 60 pounds, go up 4 or 5 flights of stairs here and there. This is great cardio for me.
Insert joke about how if it's a gym, you wouldn't be putting on 60 pounds. Get it? 'Cause you'd be probably.
I pressed the buttons for you. I pressed it for you. You couldn't hear it, but I pressed it for you.
Muchas gracias.
I wanted you to know it was pressed. Coke, sponsor her. She will put you in all of the games. You must save the illustrious crown of Coke. What?
All right.
But Thank you so much. Thank you so much for.
Are you gonna still stream?
I think I'm gonna just do the goodbyes and end for here because we only have like an hour left before I'd have to go to bed anyway. So.
That's fair.
And if we turn this into a bi-weekly thing, then hopefully it can get filled out with more things as more things happen in the campaign. Maybe drag Travis or something like that in here. Make him talk too. Or a silly dog. Drag a silly dog in here. Dog dragon. Were you expecting him to play that tiny ass dragon again?
Why not?
I don't know.
He's gonna take that tiny ass dragon all the way to the boss fight.
All the way to the end?
Yep. It'll be like a little speed missile at the end. Meow.
there's this part of me that just like sits there and goes.
Take a -20 to hit the fucker. Shit.
I could just picture you at some point. It just becomes, all right, Sig, you're the bad guy. What? Yep. Everyone fight Sig. And I would die to all the arcane that is in that group.
Oh, there's a different paladin. It's a bad guy. What?
What? What? I didn't know about it. I didn't hear what you said.
Good. That's a good thing.
Oh,
good.
God.
Perfect.
I will not play this back. I don't want to spoil anything for myself. All right, so thank you so much.
I mean, we'll see if it actually gets there.
We're gonna get.
It doesn't all give you all the spoilers.
I'm telling you, I already put it there as part 1. We have to get there now. As long I was already predestined part 1. So yeah, we need to sit down with the group and see if we are going to do this next week. I think.
Sure, I'll send the Facebook message.
Yeah, I think we were shooting for. I just don't know how we're gonna handle it with missing the one.
I mean, I don't know either. We'll figure it out.
I mean, worst case scenario, I could probably run his character. I would just need to get a copy of his character.
It should be uploaded, I think. What he said, didn't he?
I have no clue.
Digressing.
Yes, digressing. We will discuss that later.
Sounds fair.
All right, so thank you again.
Good night.
Yes, definitely. Sleep well, sweet dreams. Most likely kill you in the morning. All right.
All right.
Do it.
Bye.
Stay a while and listen. All right, guys. That was Kelly. Kelly is the GM for our Dragon campaign, and she's a badass. If you weren't here for it, episode 1000 is currently up on YouTube. It's also on the VOD list. It ran for about 4 or 5 hours, and then we had like a 2-hour afterwards, just talking session and everything. It was a really good fun time. We're gonna try and get episode 2 of that up and running hopefully next Wednesday, where we can then push the storyline forward and then like maybe turn this into a Dragon Talks every other week and then the game every other week. We'll see. We're gonna work it out. Hopefully we'll see you then. As I was saying, unfortunately though, we are running out of time for me left tonight, due to the fact that like I have to work tomorrow. So it would be appreciated if you do hang out. If you are new to the channel, make sure you mouse over the follow, the subscribe, the bell. My name's Siegfried. I do stream every single day. I've streamed every single day for the last 1,007 days. And we're going to keep going long and hard. Yes, long and hard for all of you. So that's the battle plan. I've been wanting to try and get some RPG games onto the channel. I'm going to see if I can get another one up and running. I don't know what people's availability is going to be or anything like that. So we'll see. We're going to play that by ear. Other than that, I am currently in the discussion with possibly joining a Red Dead Redemption RP game. I don't know. I got to find out more information on that. And so we got a lot of things in the pipe that I gotta figure out. So as I find them out, I will let you guys know as they happen. Again, if you are new to the channel, make sure you mouse over the follow, the subscribe, the bell, whatever happen to be on, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube, make sure you click that button. It just means the world to me for those that go off. And also at the end of the stream, I do run the credits. So if you are new to the stream and you hit those buttons, whether you tip, subscribe, donate, anything like that, anything that supports the channel, you'll get a final thank you from me to you for helping support the stream. Other than that, guys, let's do some ending credits. Let's get out of here. Here we go, guys. Outro, please. Down below is a thank you from me to all of you for hanging out this evening. The ending credit music is brought to you by Electromata. The name of the song is Summer Vibes. If you enjoy the music, make sure you look them up on Spotify or YouTube. Their music is free to listen to, free to download, and if you enjoy the music, make sure you support the artists. The Badasses for having their entire catalog out there for free. Also, support your local and online artists. Don't just go to the store and buy some bullshit-ass copy pasta and hang up on your wall. Want to go to a local or online artist, have them make something original for you. That way you can support the local and online arts and not some bullshit-ass Xerox printed copy of the same damn thing. Also, I want to say thank you to It's Too Late Now, Labby Fur, and Pyro Pixie. Thank you guys so much for the host. It is truly appreciated. And this is for all you guys this evening.
Shorty, you the best. You the best.
And finally, a big shout out to the Bully for Twitch Network. The Bully for Twitch Network is channels much like my own, where you can go enjoy yourself and not have to ask goblins during your fun, because they have fun. If those are channels that you enjoy, make sure you look for the hashtag Bully for Twitch on Twitter. Give us some love. Tell them I sent you. But guys, if you're going to bed much like me, sleep well and sweet dreams. But if you're planning to stay up and play some more games, or it's League of Legends Dota,
World of Warcraft,
Final Fantasy, Pokemon, or any other games that are out there, have fun. Because at the end of the day, it's a game. And that's what it's all about, is having fun. And with that, we're going to bring our first ever Dragon Talk, Dragon Campaign and Pathfinder discussion, and more to a close. Thank you guys so much for spending some of your time here with me. Really hope to see you tomorrow night when we continue playing some more games. And if not, hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday when we hopefully continue our Dragon Campaign Part 2. Until then, guys, have a great rest of your evening. Good night, everyone. Button! Button. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
That was really creepy.
Well, you didn't murder anyone.
Okay. You want me to murder you?
No.
Well, then.
Okay, I'm going to bed.
Alright. Good night, everyone.